The project actually is, there's this 16th century fort which was built, it was originally an Adil Shah fort, then it was conquered by the Portuguese, and then it was made bigger. And I have inherited this fort last year in the sense that I have been asked to restore, conserve and revitalize this fort. I've been very fortunate in the sense that I have a client who is the Indian National Trust for Art and Culture, and the main funder is the Helen Hamlin Trust in London. The other party to the signatory to this agreement is the government of Goa.
So what exactly is it that you're proposing to do now? I mean, since you have been handed over, since you're a consultant to the INTAC, I mean, what exactly are your proposals?
See, what I am doing is I am restoring all the buildings, the three main buildings which were there in the 16th century, okay, including a series of 7 gun loops. They're very, very interesting walls which were put at sea level to shoot at any ship which was trying to enter the place. So that is being restored, and the 3 buildings are being restored. Of the 3 buildings, 2 I have pictures of, 1 I don't have a picture of. Okay, I have a sketch of 1862. And now, how does one tackle a fort like this? You see, modern heritage management is a completely different ball game which we don't practice in India at all. It is to restore this fort to what it was, or restore a building to what it was, and use it for different purposes. Use it for the community, because a fort doesn't exist anymore for defense, you know. There's nobody to defend. And all buildings have to be used, otherwise they fall down. And Goa is full of old buildings which are all falling down. There are 52 protected monuments, and there's a slow death happening because nobody can take a decision of what to do with it. What am I doing? I'll tell you very simply. I am getting in the tourist, the local, into a reception area where I explain the significance of the fort, and from there they walk into the bastion area. The bastion area is on 3 levels. In the walls we will put some display. It could be a display of armory, because the walls are very damp. I have a big problem with dampness, so I cannot put any other display. I want to keep the walls exactly as they are. So I'm going to put armory or the history of shipbuilding or voyages or something like that which doesn't get spoiled. Then I have a promenade level which is over the river. Okay, it's a kind of place where people come, they sit down, take in the sunset. Then I have 2 structures which were built around 1940. These are not historic structures. They are built to keep the troops. Those 2 buildings,
sort of a garrison.
Yeah, was a kind of garrison, and this garrison is being converted into a restaurant with a stage where performances can be held in the evening. It could be traditional performances, dancers, and people can come in there. In the day, they can come and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. They can see the sea.
So this all are coming at the bastion level, which is at the lower level, and not at the citadel level.
At the citadel level, then you have all this thing, and then at the citadel you climb 80 steps going up, and you get to the citadel level, which has essentially 3 halls. That's all I have.
Okay. Now the contentious issue which have ended up in this controversy, and where allegations are running high about a certain structure which is said to be having been mutilated. Could you tell us a little more about that structure and actually, what exactly is happening out there?
That's a very interesting thing about the building being mutilated. I can show you a picture of this building which was there, which is about 2 years ago, before the monsoons, and it was completely mutilated by, I think, the prison authorities, and this was the building which everybody talks about, you know, that I'm mutilating the building. Okay, this building was there 2 monsoons ago. When I got the project properly going, that's in November, the roof had completely caved in and the main beam had fallen, disturbing the whole building. Okay, it's this building that I am rebuilding on its same plinth, and I am building it in the style of what I have gained in knowledge from my study, and making this building here. Okay, it's a building which would have been built in the 16th century. The people who are against me are saying I'm mutilating this building. Now, my job as an architect is very simply is to restore the fort to what it was in the 16th century. My job as an architect is definitely not to restore the building to this state. That would be a foolish thing to do and completely wrong to do. See, there are 5 buildings that have been removed here. Some of them are toilets, kitchens, storerooms, flimsy buildings. Most of them had practically fallen down. And how does one approach a project like this? You see, it's very interesting.
So all these were erected, they were not part of the original fort.
No, definitely not.
They were not part of the original structure, they happened to come in during various periods of time.
If you look at the plan of the citadel level, there are these structures. This was a toilet, this was another sort of room, another room, another room, and all these things were subsequently done. Very bad condition, very badly built, and nothing like what was there in the original structure, which would have been this. See,
what does the INTAC comprise of? I mean, who are the advisory members, or I mean, who are the people with
the Secretary General, the Chairman of INTAC is S.K. Mishra, very senior. He used to be the Prime Minister's Secretary, and he was a lot in heritage. So he is the chairman of our committee, in fact. Okay, and then the main advisor is a gentleman called Arun Gupta, who was ex-Chief Secretary, Madhya Pradesh. And then the technical members are there's a Professor Agarwal, who was from our ASI. Then there is Helen Hamlin herself, who's an expert at restoration. She's restored a number of castles. She's restored a fort in Rajasthan. So she is also very knowledgeable. And she has provided this international exposure to what should be done.
So what you are doing here has basically been vetted by all these prominent people.
Yeah, sure. I don't work alone. I represent the government of Goa. I represent INTAC. I represent the Helen Hamlin Trust. Whatever I am doing has gone through this committee.
Do you think the state government has been supportive on this issue? I mean, you think they have been supporting you, or you think there's a conflict of purpose? Because the other day, the JMFC MAPSA has issued orders to the Porvorim police to file an FIR against the people associated with the reconstruction.
I'll tell you what it is. It's very simple. What happens is, the plot against the project is like this. Like a guy goes to the Porvorim police station and he says, the fort is being destroyed, please file a case. Okay. The police, what do? They ask me for the plans, they ask the government for the plans, they see all stamped plans, licenses, panchayat, everything. They say, sorry, we are not filing an FIR. There's nothing wrong with the project. Next day they come again they say, another letter, please file the FIR. Police refuse to do it. Let me just carry on. Okay. Then what they do is they have a press conference, kind of sensational thing, where a new building is being constructed. There's a lot of things come out in the vernacular press. They take these papers along with this, go to a magistrate in MAPSA, who then immediately gets thing, and he says the Porvorim police must inquire into this. Okay, so that is the controversy which is coming. Now, it doesn't say anything that there's anything wrong with it, it doesn't say it's illegal. They say the Porvorim must inquire into it. Now, Porvorim police are still not filing an FIR. What they say simply is, everything is in order, we are going to appeal the thing. But government is slow. See, I believe the government will in the next day or two come out very strongly in support of this. They will come out very strongly because we are having a meeting today. Of the AMCs, there's a meeting being held.
There are allegations in certain quarters that this whole reconstruction could have been done by the government itself, by the Department of Art and Culture or by the Department of Archives and Archaeology, rather than taking grants or funds from a foreign philanthropic trust. What do you have to say about this?
See, this is a matter of policy, of government, whether they want to take it from A or B or C. It's nothing to do with me. But all I can say is I have at this point an opportunity. I have a client who is a visionary. I have a committee who is apolitical. And I have a chance to do a project with little interference. To do a project which can be an eye-opener for other projects. And the government has not one restoration project worth its name to show. Not one. In fact, in the last So many years, so many forts have fallen, things are crumbling, things are disappearing. So this kind of attitude that somebody else should have done it, there are 51 more projects which the government can do, and it's time they did it.